All right, now these are the things that we have here that are normally around the house that we have and that we can use to not just keep from getting sick, but when we get sick here around here in the Bailey house, these are the first things that we turn to. Now, everything on this cutting board has a purpose. Nothing here is an accident. It's all both symbolic and literally to be used. And so let's go around this wheel of what you have around your house normally and how you can use that to stay healthy. Most of us around the house or in our house, we have some type of water source. Most of us, if not all of us, have around the house toilet paper. Some of us, I know most don't, but some of us may have vitamin C or ascorbic acid on hand. And a lot of us, maybe even most of us, may have garlic, but not fresh garlic. Maybe garlic powder, maybe garlic salt. But everything on this wheel is probably going to be found in most people's homes in some form. These particular forms are the forms that we recommend. So for example, we're dealing with the garlic, not just garlic powder, but actual fresh garlic bulbs. When we're dealing with water, for example, not faucet water, not tap water, but some type of purified water, whether that was in a bottle or whether you have a water purification system. When it comes to vitamin C, yes, we probably do have some vegetable or fruit that may have a vitamin C component in it, but these are then going to the next step. We recommend using ascorbic acid, an actual vitamin C powder that we're going to bring together here in just a moment. When it comes to the toilet paper, you didn't think you were going to be talking about toilet paper in church today, but yes, there's a twofold power and twofold reason why we've got this toilet paper on here. So where do we start? And Lord, help me to do this all in just 20 minutes because I could talk all day about health. But I know we want you to watch, number one, and number two, we don't want to give too much information. By the Spirit of God, we want to give just enough. So when we feel the sniffles, when we get down or feel like something's coming on, the very first thing that we turn to and the first thing we want to make sure that we've got in check as far as what's around the house, if you could maybe guess, what do you think? Which one of these do you think is the first thing you want to make sure is in right balance? Right here. You want to make sure and ask yourself, where am I in drinking water? Because here's the beautiful thing about the body and the beautiful thing about being created in the image of God. The body is constantly fighting to live. You and I were made to live. And so the body has in its own gift from creation the drive and the desire to thrive. So it's constantly healing. Some people call it self-healing. Some people say it's self-regenerative. The idea I see from scripture is that when the Lord breathed into us the breath of life, that life always seeks to live. So if we get out of the way oftentimes and allow the body to do what it already wants to do, which is live, that's normally going to be what happens. And what water does is that water allows the body to be empowered to do what it already is trying to do when we start to get ill, and that is to cleanse itself. And being mostly made of water, being mostly composed on the cellular level of water, many of us run into difficulty, or many of us become susceptible to disease simply because we're not giving our body what it itself needs to heal itself. And the biggest thing that it needs is good water. Good water that allows us to be hydrated. So when we're talking about water, we want to look at trying to increase however much water we drink. So for example, all of us are not going to drink the same amount of water. Just like every single kind of car out there is not going to have the same kind of oil change, but it's going to have an oil change. So all of us may not drink the same amount of water, but we all want to be striving to drink more. And what I have found is when you make the investment in a water bottle, there's just something about when we pay for something, we pay attention to it a lot more. So if you find yourself wanting or needing to drink more water, the best advice I could give you is one, go buy a water bottle. You can even buy one at the Dollar Tree, 99 cents, $1.05, $1.07, or $1.04, wherever you live, state tax. and get yourself a new water bottle. Now, normally they're not going to be this size. A bottle this size normally, and this is a 64-ounce bottle to help me make sure that I'm getting in my goal every day of water intake. We got this at Five Below. So we're talking between $1 and $5 for a decent sized water bottle. Obviously, you can go up into $10, $20, $30 if you want to go in the high end. And if you can, God bless you. But you want to make sure, the first thing you got to ask yourself when a headache comes on, when that itchy throat comes on, when indigestion sets in, is where am I in my water? And guess what? Here's the good news. Most of us, if you just get this right, you don't have to worry about any of this other stuff. You don't have to go to the medicine cabinet. You don't even have to go to the kitchen. You just got to go to get your water. And if your water is on point, you know that on a cellular level, your cells have the basic thing, not the only thing, but the basic thing that they need to do what they are wanting to do, which is to what? Live. So around the house, goal number one, winner number one, focus number one, are you hydrated with good water? And remember, you want to drink enough water for your body. So what's an ideal? Well, some people say, well, the ideal amount of water to drink is to drink enough so that when you go to the bathroom, your urine is clear. Well, that's good and bad. How is it good? It's good in that, wow, your body is to the point where you've actually flushed the kidneys to where they're to the point where your urine is clear. But there's also a bad side to that, in that even though your pee is clear or your urine is clear, it's good to have yellow urine. It's good to see that yellow urine. Why? Because that's the bad stuff in the body that's being eliminated, that's being peed out. So on the one hand, yeah, you do want the clear urine, but I'm glad when I see the yellow because that's my body also eliminating the bad stuff. So the goal is not to have clear urine. The goal is to be hydrated. And when I'm hydrated, there will be seasons when I've reached the point where my urine may be clear, and I've reached the point where, oh, I got the yellow urine, but thank you, Jesus. Those are the things that were in my body that are now being eliminated from my body. And so it's both yellow and clear is what we're looking for, not just all clear and not just all yellow. So that's one thing you think about in terms of the amount of water, drink more. And if you want to set a mark or a goal, say, hey, I got a water bottle. It's 32 ounces. It's 16 ounces. I want to knock out one of those before lunch. If you're drinking no water, that would be great. But if you already are drinking water regularly, you're drinking 2 or 3 water bottles. When I say water bottle, I'm talking about the plastic water bottles, which is about 17.9 ounces or roughly 16.9 ounces, I think. You want to say, well, rather than wasting all that plastic, let me go ahead and invest in a good water bottle. Let me invest in a decent water filter, $10, $20 at, a big box store. You put that on your faucet. You spend that $10, $20 every 6 months for a filter, as opposed to $10, $20, $30 at Costco or Sam's every week. You do the math and you're getting clear water, clean water. And so you get this and you have this on your person every day, wherever you go, like you have the word hidden in your heart or your Bible in your car, you take this with you. Drink your water and get hydrated. You'll know you're hydrated when those headaches go away. You're going to have more regular eliminations, which allows, again, the body to have that, yes, the body healing itself as God intended it to. So first thing you want to grab when you're feeling the sniffles, feeling that bad bug coming on, get your water and make sure you're hydrated. And if you don't see a shift in 1 or 2 days, this is when we introduce the other elements. When you're drinking your water and when you're increasing your water intake, it's going to lead to more time with this. This has a double-fold purpose. On the one hand, when you're drinking more water, you're going to get yourself into a more regular elimination, not just in urination, but we're also talking about defecation. Yes, the back door, not just the front door, because that is the body's goal, to get rid of the bad, to hold on to the good. And if you are sick, oftentimes the first culprit you want to look at after water is, am I going to the bathroom? Am I going to the restroom regularly? And when I'm in there, am I spending more sweat than I do on the treadmill to eliminate? Or am I going with ease and ready to make the squeeze? Yes, I know, all these images and all these these lines. Just because It's a blessing to go to the bathroom. Let me say this again. This is a blessing to go to the bathroom. So many people dread going to the bathroom. We mock it, we laugh at it, but the fact of the matter is, it is one of the keys, the essential keys to health. Regular eliminations. What is a regular elimination? Well, by definition, constipation is going to the bathroom 3 times or less per week. So, using that as our rubric, if the medical definition of constipation is only having 1, 2, or 3 eliminations in a week, if that's the end of the spectrum where you are on, you need to definitely recognize the need for water to lead to elimination. If you're having an elimination, I can't tell you how many times it's good for you. You know how many times it's good for you. We know what's bad for most of us, and that's 3 times a week. So the idea and the goal is, if I were to take, let's just say, just for example, if I were to take this measuring spoon, which you're going to be introduced to in a little bit, if I put 1 measuring spoon into this tube, how many do I expect to come out? 1. So if I'm eating 1, 2, 3 times a day, and I'm going to the bathroom eating 4, 5 times a day, but I only go to the bathroom once a day, or I only go to the bathroom once every 3 days, or heaven help us, once every week, I've got a problem. And it's going to lead not just to an illness that may be just a temporary one, but it's actually going to lead to chronic disease. So it's so important that we spend time in the bathroom, and it is on par or near par to how often we're eating. So if you're eating 2 or 3 times a day, it's a great thing if you're eliminating once or twice a day. Again, it's not the end of the world if you don't go that day, but you should be going the next day. But again, the idea is to get your body to a place where you know you're having regular eliminations because you're not having the symptoms that come from being constipated, which are a lot of times the sniffles, which are a lot of times constipation, and so forth. So we're trying to eliminate. Not only do we have the tissue for the bathroom, we have the tissue here around the house for getting rid of not just the backdoor business, but also for blowing our nose. Blowing our nose? Yes. A lot of people who are having issues right now with sinuses or with allergies, one of the things that exacerbates or lets them linger longer is that we're not eliminating what the body's trying to get rid of. When our nose is running or when our sinuses are draining down our throat, the body is sending mucus, which is a good thing, to help wrangle up, kind of think of like the wranglers out there in the Old West, and they gather all the cattle to take them into the barn. Mucus is like that. It's the cowboys of the body. And it's trying to gather all those germs and all those pathogens or bad things in the body that are trying to lead to infection. It wrangles them up to get them out the body. When our nose is running and we snip it back up, or when our sinuses are draining and we swallow them, we're actually taking all of the bad guys that they've wrangled up and putting them back into the body, when mucus is trying to gather them up and get them out. So another reason why we've got tissue on the table here is that use the tissue to blow your nose. Do not swallow your drainage. Do not swallow your mucus. If you have to leave the room, leave the classroom, leave your desk, leave church to blow your nose, do that. And if you've got tissue and you brought it with you, blow your nose. We love you, and everyone will understand, oh, she's trying to get the bad stuff out. He's trying to get the bad stuff out. When you have the sinus drainage and it's going down the back of your throat, don't swallow it. You need to bring it up. You need to cough it up and spit it out. It's great if it's white or clear. That means the bad guys got in there before infection set in. When you go to spit or when you go to blow and it's yellow or worse, green, you know that you've gotten to the point where you're probably dealing with some infection. So it's not the end of the world. It just means you've got to back this up now. You've got to help your body out now, and you're going to send in some reinforcements. We've got our tissue. Blow your nose. Don't sniff. Don't swallow. Drink your water. Swallow water. So you got it? Swallow water, not mucus. Spit out the mucus Drink the water. So if you say, well, I just got to drink, I got to swallow something, swallow this. Well, I don't like that. I got to spit it. Oh, you don't spit out the mucus. That's what you want to get rid of. So now we got everybody covered. All right. Water, tissue. Now, the reinforcements from around the house. This one you probably won't have. This one you probably will have. I'm going to talk about this one last because I'm going to show you how to get this boosted and bring these two together. When it comes to vitamin C, this is a great tool, a tremendous asset to have when it comes to healing. Vitamin C or ascorbic acid can be purchased normally in 8-ounce bottles. Here, this is a 1-pound bottle, and I actually have a 2-pound bag that we suggest, but I cut the bag up yesterday when I was emptying out the very last, and I forgot. So I apologize. Please forgive me. I don't have that bag to show you. But how do we take our vitamin C? An easy way to get this vitamin C in. Again, the purpose of this is not to talk about all the benefits of vitamin C, but let me do it very quickly. This is an antioxidant. This is a healer. This is why if you buy food, and most of us do buy food, and it's packaged, almost anything that's in a package, in the package, you will see on the ingredients ascorbic acid or vitamin C. Have you ever asked yourself, why is there vitamin C in these crackers? Or why is there ascorbic acid on this cereal? Because manufacturers have figured out, oh, this is actually an antioxidant, or it stops oxidation. What's oxidation? Staling, spoiling. It prevents things from dying. So the idea then on a micro level is put this in the food, it preserves the food. If you don't believe me, take some ascorbic acid, cut an apple in half, rub ascorbic acid or vitamin C on one half of the apple and watch it, and leave the other one. What's going to happen? The apple without the vitamin C is going to turn brown. It is oxidizing. It is aging. We wrinkle, we spoil, we die. What vitamin C does is just like on the apple, it inhibits the oxidation process. It slows down the death process on a micro and macro level. So if it's preserving my cells and strengthening my cells, it preserves me and strengthens me. It anti-ages me because it antioxidizes me. So drinking and eating this will allow my body to be antioxidized, but also it eliminates and it kills at the same time. So if I've got an infection, if I have a viral infection, even a COVID-19 viral infection, this infused in high quantities and in massive doses has already been proven to not just keep from, but heal coronavirus. Medically proven, documented. If you don't believe us, go check it out on our blog, changeministry.org/BaileyBlog. Lots of cases of this working. So if it can handle coronavirus, I think it can handle a cough or a cold. How do we take it? You want to get your vitamin C, whatever source. I'm going to recommend some in the links below. And again, you can always email us to find out where you can buy your own. I take a bottle, and I use a bottle that has some kind of top on it. This is a recycled bottle, so we're saving plastic, we're preserving. And so I take this bottle that has a top. Well, why does it have a top? You're going to see in a second. Because some people, when they take their vitamin C, they stir it around. But what you'll find is when you're stirring it around, it could take forever to dissolve. And you may not care about it being dissolved. And if you don't, go for it. I don't really care about it. But I know we have our girls, and I know they like to not see the vitamin C undissolved or crystalline in the water. So to let it dissolve and make it more palatable to somebody you're giving it to, I'm going to take a half a teaspoon. This is a 1/4. 1/4 teaspoon is 1 gram. We're on the metric system over in Europe, but here in the States, we have teaspoons. So this is 1 gram on the metric system, but it's 1/4 teaspoon here. I normally take, my goal is to try to get around 10 grams or 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. So for me, I will take 1, 2, 3 of these, but just for our example, for those of you who are starting out, if you want to just take 2 or even just 1 gram, you take your vitamin C, whatever portion that is. We're not here to deal with amounts as much right now. We're talking about stuff around the house. You want to give that some water, and what you now want to do, you want to dissolve it. So here comes the top. I could take there with a spoon and stir and stir and stir and stir. I really don't feel like doing that. I take some kind of dish or some kind of bottle that I have, recycled it, and we shake it up. We shake it up, and by shaking it, what we found is that it really speeds up the dissolving. So I've been shaking this for maybe 8, 9, 10 seconds, and here we are. You barely see a few particles in there. So let me go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now, rather than standing there stirring for a minute or two, now, just in about 15 seconds, you can't really catch all of it, but we've pretty much dissolved our vitamin C. Again, when it comes to portions when you're sick, you know that if I've gotten the runny nose or if I've gotten the itchy throat, I'm not at max level. My body is lacking the amount of ascorbic acid because, again, our bodies don't make it. Most animals in nature do, humans do not. And a couple other primates. I don't think monkeys do and something else doesn't, but everyone else does. So we have to have and we have to take in our vitamin C. When you're taking in, especially when you're sick, that's your body telling you, not only do I not have enough, but I'm actually in a deficit. You want to then do what we call, you want to max dose. How you know you've max dosed or how you know that you reached your level where your body's become saturated is you drink enough, and once you've drunk it, you'll have a little stir in your tummy. Not a pain, not a cramp, but there'll be an uneasiness in the tummy. And the good news is with vitamin C or ascorbic acid, you can't have too much. When the body has reached saturation point, you will just urinate out the excess. You don't have to worry about kidney stones. And people say, well, with all that acid, I'm going to get kidney stones. That's been proven time and time again. It's not true when it comes to ascorbic acid. The body processes it and synthesizes it. It's not a root cause for any kind of stones. When you reach your max dosage, whether it's 1 of these, whether it's 10 of these, you scale down. You scale down. So if I know it took me 10 of these to finally get to, well, okay, I'm starting to feel better. Now in the next hour or the next 2 hours, I'm going to drink or get 9 or drink or get 8 and scale down until people say, well, how long do you take it? I'll get on camera because this is going to be profound. Until you feel better. That's how long you take it. You take enough until you feel better. And when you feel better, you now know, let me go to my regular maintenance schedule. Whether that's 1 of these, whether it's 2, but we recommend, some naturopathic doctors will vary, but from what I've seen in my reading, varying between 2 to 5 or 10 grams a day. So no less than 2. So that's what I start with my family every day in the morning. We start off with, 2,000 milligrams or a half a teaspoon of vitamin C just to start the day. And at the end of the day, I give them another 2. So by the end of the day, they've had at least 4 grams or 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I take a little bit more. I weigh more, I do more, and I want to make sure that I'm well to take care of them. And so this is what I do. It doesn't mean it's what you have to do, but principally speaking, if you're sick, you don't have enough of this. You've got to go ahead and reach saturation. And once you've reached saturation, scale down, drinking that portion, scaling down every hour until you feel better. And when you do, you go back to your regular schedule of 2 to 10,000 milligrams. That's again, 2 4 tablespoons up to 4, or even all the way up to 10. You can't have too much, but at least maintenance will now keep you in a position now where I'm being preventive. I'm fighting, and I'm going to drink this now because I want some and I need some. Goes down good. Now, last but not least, let's talk about the garlic, because this one is a booster to all of the above. The garlic is beautiful because this is medicine that you can eat, meaning this can go as just something you take for medicine, or you know what? When I have my savory food, I'm gonna make sure I have some garlic with it today. How do you prepare the garlic though? Or how do you eat the garlic if you just want to use it medicinally? The easy thing to do is to follow this through what I'm about to show you and put it on your food. That's an easy way to get your garlic in every day. But again, you may be in a situation where, okay, I'm sick now. I need to increase my intake, but I don't want to be eating all day just so I can get my garlic. What's the best way to get this in? Well, some people will suggest a capsule, which you can do. Some people will say, well, I'll just use a garlic powder, which you can do. But I found an easy way to get this into my body, and it doesn't affect me to where you smell it on my breath a whole lot. You may smell it slightly, but that's because, one, you're ingesting it in here and it's working down here in the tummy. And two, when you pass gas, you're going to smell it again too. That's just the fact of the matter. But again, that's good because we're looking to get here so that this can work to get us well, right? So I'm willing to take some gassy garlic or some garlic gas if it's going to let me feel good again, all right? So if that's where we're willing to go, stay with me and we wrap this up. How do we get this in an easy way that's not too rough? I could take this, skin it, and just chew it. No problem. Problem is, however, that the breath is really going to carry that smell. So if you're working with people, if you're working with others, that may be offensive to them because it actually works in the whole body and it will even come out in the pores because the way it was taken in and you ate it. Now, here again, if you're sick, and if you're at home, you got a sore throat, I recommend this before any Halls, any lozenge, or any tea. Because this garlic in the saliva will go directly to that infection point in the throat, and you're going to feel an immediate impact. I'll tell you, even this morning, I had an itchy throat, and I said, oh, Lord, I know you want to speak today, and I need to be able to speak. I took one of these cloves, skinned it, and I chewed it. And when I chewed it, the drainage that was going down my back of my throat, in about 2 to 3 minutes, it started to go down through my nose. So it shifted it. My body now is no longer draining down the back of my throat. It healed up that sore, and now it's coming out of my nose so I could blow it out and be able to talk like I'm talking right now. The Lord is good. This is real, and that's why we're sharing it here for you to be blessed with. How can I get this in, though, if I'm not going to go the chewing route? I may have dental issues. And in fact, if you've got dental issues, I'm talking about teeth, but gum infections, gum disease, inflammation, tooth soreness, chewing on garlic is a tremendous asset because really what's going on is on a root level, you have bacteria. And that's what's leading to the gingivitis and all those things. And more than any mouthwash you could buy, a clove of garlic chewed on could be the very thing that leads you to a breakthrough. Now, to get this in to the body, to deal with whatever's going on around in here, not just in the mouth, here's what we got to do. First thing you want to do is you want to smash your garlic. And I can usually bang on the table, but I'm going to press down because in the kitchen I can bang on the counter. But I'm going to just press down here. And I'm pressing. Oh, I'm pressing and not banging so I don't knock stuff over. And I still knock something over. Give me just a second here. All right. So cool. Now, what did I do? What we've done is we've crushed the garlic and we've released it from the skin. We don't need the skin and we don't want to eat the skin. That's not edible. If you eat it, will it harm you? No, but it has no flavor. And it'll just be fiber actually. And you'll just go ahead and process that like you do any other fiber. Now I've got this crusher or crushed garlic on my plate here. And the moment I've crushed it, the garlic is being exposed to oxygen. Now, why is that so cool? When normally stuff oxidizes or ages because of the oxygen exposure, garlic and this power that's in it called allicin. Allicin is the antibody that works in our bodies that actually makes us well and fights and kills the germs and bacteria. When you let the garlic set and be exposed, it's like all the allicin soldiers are alerted. So you actually increase the allicin amount or allicin potency by letting it be exposed for about 5 minutes. So if we let this set for a good 5 minutes and then we chop it up, or normally what I do is right when I crush it, I just chop it up. Now when I chop it, I'm chopping it up, one, to expose it to the oxygen, so I increase the allicin boost in it so it's more effective. But two, I'm chopping it so it's smaller for me to drink. What? You about to drink it? We are about to drink it because I'm trying to get it in me, right? But the freshest way possible, but the easiest way possible. Fresh and easy, that's what we're trying to do. I did a cross cut one way, right? Now, if I have it on a counter or have it on a cutting board, if you rotate the cutting board to where now I was going like this, now we're going to cut like this. So we're making very, very small squares. We're cubing or dicing. I'm not a chef, but I think that's the term that they use. And making it small. So now, once I've gone that direction, you got it. I go back the other direction. So I'm making it smaller and smaller and smaller. So now, when we go to drink it, I'm not really swallowing a chunk or chunks or hunks of garlic. They're actually just little pieces that are much easier to get into the body. They're not going to smell on my breath because the garlic oil, what you're smelling, like if you were here, you'd smell this oil, this piercing smell, that awesome smell of garlic. It's actually oil. That's what makes oranges and garlic so amazing. The juices inside of them are actually oils. And that's why back in the Middle Ages, in the Dark Ages even, one of the things that the scientists discovered was the use of oranges or lemons, that citric acid. That's what they were using as a form of soap before soap was actually created as a way to help cure disease. So orange oil, and now we've got garlic oil. And if you actually, the camera was close enough, you'd see the surface on here is oil. I've chopped this up now to about the consistency of what you see in the store when it's selling, that store is selling, chopped garlic or minced garlic. So we've minced it pretty much. And so we're going to let this set for 5 minutes, right? Now, just to fast forward, I'm not going to sit here and talk for 5 minutes because I think you get the point. But as you're taking notes, and we'll post this later with the instructions, you let that set for about 5 minutes. And now I went from having this big cloves, and to now that one clove, I've chopped this up. Now, how am I going to get this in without the burn or without the discomfort that might come from chewing on it, even though it's good for me? But I'm not there yet. And that's cool if you're not there yet. We're trying to look for easy but effective. I'm going to get a container just to show you that we got a bunch of them and how you want to use these too, how you want to recycle. This is a glass container. No big deal. Since I'm not storing what I have in here, it doesn't matter if it's plastic or glass. If you're going to be storing any type of herbs or you're going to be storing any type of medicines that you're making at home, whether it's a tincture or tea or whatever, you want to go with glass, not plastic. Just as a common rule. If you're drinking it at that moment, plastic is fine. But if you're going to store it over time, you want to use glass because glass is going to procure it, it's going to protect it, it's going to, you don't have the threat of plastic leaching that can happen if something's warmed or heated or has a chemical reaction to it. Not with glass. So I just thought I'd use a glass bottle to switch it up a bit. You're going to take your garlic, and again, to prevent that garlic oil smell from sticking around the mouth, because remember, I might be at work or be at school, I'm going to put water in first to my container. This is you saw how big that clove was. It was an average size clove. This is about 1/8 of a cup of water, if you're looking for how much water. But really, it depends on you, because my goal is to drink this in one gulp. So everybody's got a different gulp, right? So if you have to, you want to run a trial, put some water in your bottle and see if you can put it all in one gulp. So it was a little bit too much for me. So now I'm going to get my bottle back. And now, okay, this is about a gulp for me. Okay, so you get about a gulp of water. What measurement is that? You got to figure that out, right? Get a gulp of water in your container, in your bottle. Now I've let this set for 5 minutes. Okay, we fast forward through time. And now I want to take all the cloves, all of our minced garlic, and I don't want to put it all on the bottle and all. I just want to slide it off of my knife here into the water. So now you've got your chopping knife. Remember, it can be a nice knife or even a cheap one like this. And this is a Dollar Tree special, but it does the job as long as it rocks. It's easier to chop and mince up the garlic, but any knife that you use is fine. Okay. So now we've got our garlic in the bottle, right? And you see it moving around in there. So now this is how we're going to get the garlic into the body, into the system. As I'm trying to get it down in here, this is where our immune system is rooted, right? In our colon. I'm trying to get it in here so that it can boost our fight against whatever is attacking us. So now I'm going to take this, and I'm not going to sip it because I'm not trying to drink the water. I'm really trying to gulp it down. This might take some practice for some of you. I know some of you are better gulpers than others, right? But pretend it's a big old glass of lemonade or apple juice or whatever. And I'm not going to swish it around in my mouth. I'm really just trying to throw it down the back of the mouth in one swoop. So here I am. I'm going to do it for you. Get this garlic in. Now, what would be really funny is if you heard that on the mic. But it was this big gulp, right? It's going down. I don't have the garlic oil taste in my mouth. I tasted the flavor of the water was garlic, but I don't have the burn, the discomfort. And now it's gone directly into the tummy, and eventually it's going to work into the colon area, which is where our immune system is. And it's going to now provide the good battle of the good antibodies that are going to help boost the good bacteria to fight against the bad bacteria that's trying to get me sick. So, what have we covered? To review, we have garlic, fresh garlic, not garlic powder, fresh garlic. You can buy this by the pound, or you can buy one bunch at a time. It's affordable, and the number one thing you can buy at home, normally in a store, to boost your immunity and to stay healthy and make your food taste good. Fresh cloved garlic. What do we have? Water. Water was our number one asset and our number one weapon and our go-to. We've got water. Now we've got vitamin C. I'm going to show you the links where you can order this online. You can get it by the pound or you can get it by the 2 pounds. This 1 pound bottle runs about at a good price, at about $14, $12, $15, $20. But there's a 2 pound bag that I don't have, but we're going to recommend 2 pound bag. It costs about $14, $15 for 2 pounds. You can order it on Amazon. You'll have it in 2 to 3 days if you've got, or 1 or 2 days if you've got Prime. Standard shipping within about 4 or 5 days. So you've got vitamin C, ascorbic acid, fresh garlic, water, which is going to allow you to use this a lot more often. So whether it's the back door, whether it's the front door, or whether it's a runny nose, all of your body doors, you got this as a weapon. And all together, God can use this as a way for you and for me to stay healthy. And if we get sick, to get better.